these about Stephanie Lawson. I don't know what state it was. I forgot. I just had to say it out my chest because I'm tired right now. There's an African American descendant group that wants Miss Stephanie Lawson Muhammad's position as a school board director to be taken out because at traffic stop in late April, white police officer approached her and she was driving faster past the speed limit, and all of a sudden, this situation about she called him a skinhead. Of course, if he doesn't belong to a neo-Nazi skinhead, he's not racist. He's not. He should not be called skinhead. I don't think she should lose her job behind that because, like what they say, cops kill black people, African descent, Hispanic, um, and no one does. They get a pension. They get a GoFundMe if they go to trial. Um, the white jurors, the most who are racist and were raised racist from childbirth, from their parents or grandparents, whoever took care of them, have a preconceived notion that African American person is not human. So a lot of people in the African American community that's against her, to me, it's a bunch of coonery, okay? Because it's like, and I had dealt with a recent situation. I'm not gonna say who I dealt with outside of this YouTube, where I felt I was being disrespected. I was the victim of blaming on me, and I was praying that that person see before we even met there was a history before that person. Okay, um, I'm not over here in a certain situation that I'm not comfortable being at, and it's not me being victim blaming myself. It's not me as a person. No, I don't second guess myself. I've done it before. It got in self doubt to the point of suicidal. So God knows my strength and my heart that I was not lying. And but I look at the situation, the person, the sister and the brother who's trying to counsel me, and I went along with it, and I kind of play actor with it. Okay, if you know what I mean. Okay, I brush, go back to what I gotta do. Okay, I'm still with her. I look at, but I'm gonna still speak my piece because I know my conscience is clear on this. A lot of us been taught that we should be adjusting to abuse. Okay, I've talked about before. Before we talk about coming together, we need to not only integrate but come together. Period. We need to stop that we're not human. Take bury the idea that we're not human. From the N word, even in rap music, even how we discipline our children, how we would discipline is dehumanized. It came out of slavery. People twist the Bible. Let you know the Ku Klux Klan used the Bible to get their membership too. Twist it, okay? And we in our community, and I'm not proud of, I used to born, have been taught to be abused even in the sake of the name of the Lord. Okay? And as when white folks do it, it's not all white people, okay? But the ones who don't do that mess treat their children and everybody else like humans. They know that holy book can be distorted. And a lot of us don't want to challenge that because many of us been guilty of abusing each other. See, the reason why you have so many YouTubers saying I want to marry a white person, white woman, white man, is because we were forced to come together. One thing folks understand, we're not pure Africans and we're part of the American white as well, okay? And we've been forced by white massa and white supremacists after Jim Crow. And if something that we didn't do what it was told, something bad by them playing God gonna happen to us. We've been told not to take that fear, and deal with the longevity of being abused. So we've been told if we don't do it, something happens. It not only the white man was doing right, but God initiate that. And we never challenged that back in slavery they used to twist the scriptures to make the slaves stay slaves. That's why Harriet Tubman cannot get the folks out the plantation. Because they knew they was taught that this was part of life. And it's not. So we've been brainwashed to accept abuse, and if we go against it, so the bad time it was a condemnation from God, which is actually untrue. Okay? And that's why you see these folks cooning, because they mama beat the crap out of him. And dad, they never question. It's not just only beating, even with sexual abuse. See how many folks I had to argue with in our community who defend R. Kelly. Oh, because Michael Jackson bleaches, well, he had vitiligo with bleaching the darker parts of skin tone to blend. Yeah, I got butt hurt and use it as an argument to use it as saying he says molest kids. What they gotta do is two different subjects. But R. Kelly acting like a camel skin version of slave master, his ancestor that he don't look too much like. Oh, he one of us. We gotta protect the black. No, I'm not protecting the black. Who? Protect the black who? I don't give a damn. He got black DNA. He doing wrong. It's weird that if I did something wrong, people who speak that, y'all wouldn't be saying that because I'm the ultimate image of your narrative. That's the reason why. So when I look at this situation, I can't get mad at the woman because Miss Stephanie Lawson Muhammad knows anybody get pulled up after and saying you do, even if you are in the right. That person who's in charge of that power and authority might abuse it and hurt you. She's seen so many videos. And an officer, I understand it was disrespectful, but it's one thing I get tired about authority. And I ain't perfect, but I know the Bible says the steward should prove to be trustworthy. In 4 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 4, 2. So he's a steward, even though he's not in a religious setting, but he's got some type of authority. He need to approve to be trustworthy. And many cops, that's why I said if I became one, I couldn't stay that long because I'd be snitching on everybody who's doing wrong. Because then I said in my videos that badge is not a golden idol to be worshipped. It's a badge of honor to protect and serve the people. And I meant serve and protect. That means also for other officers besides the thugs out of the street who don't have a badge. Okay? I cannot abuse authority. That's not. I admit people who abuse authority. If I took authority, I give a lesson, but that's not me. I'm not God. I'm still contradicting myself. Is when the person asks if I became a business owner, they were client. Yeah, if I had a business and I'm the owner and I've been abused by employee abuse and somebody is abusing my employees, I'm gonna be fed up with the manager that is working for me, not the employee. Because I've been through that situation because no one had my voice. I don't forget where I come from. You see what I'm saying? And I'm a police officer. I'm sorry, I'm not one. But let's say I'm a security officer. But let's say I am become a police officer. I'm not. First of all, what I love about my Pope, that he's for the people. That's why he named himself Saint Francis, Pope Francis, because if you know about Saint Francis, he did a Christ-like work. He did God's work. He was for the people, not for those leaked. Okay, and I have that conscience. You gotta be for the people, not for the power. You see what I'm saying? Use the power to help the people. And one thing I get tired of cocky and arrogant. There's some in office, and I'm sorry. Let me say this. Let me let folks know what my real racial makeup up before anybody says, oh, that's a black guy. I get tired of y'all one job rule mentality, including the white folks and the other people. My background is African American, French, Spanish, Creole, English, and American descent. That's my background. That's who I am. I don't care what I look like to you. Whatever is in my background led me to be here. Okay. And my family ancestry, whatever. That's why we're here. If it wasn't for the ancestors, you would not be here. Okay. And I understand in the white part, the part of me that I don't look like, because I done research on my white roots, and not only that, read about white culture. Actually, went to a white school. Actually, the African American culture is not that different from white culture. What I mean is, yeah, you might have your own little subculture in ethnic groups, but if we go to Africa and I start speaking like this, them Africans will show you we more black than you, not because of the phenotype, but their culture is truly African. We don't speak Swahili and Zulu, let's be real. We speak English. We already assimilated. Okay? So let me elaborate on this. I understand. that your parents and grandparents twist scripture, especially if you come up in a Protestant church, and it also goes with Catholics who assimilate to the WASP culture. And there you saw black thugs attacking police officers. I understand that, but you need to know your history too. And some of y'all do know your history in America, but act like you don't with that gaslighting thing. Many of y'all been taught because first understand when integration happened, y'all talking about it was a bad thing. No, it wasn't. It was people doing things with it that made it bad. Let's be real with it. Me and those white parents in the school board, like the sister in the school board, voted against policies to help the integrated schools that later on became schools like Lean on Me. They took their kids to private schools. And usually private school was Protestant, because I know as a Catholic, they don't preach, shouldn't be teachers, it's heresy, it's schism. Anyway, that's the false prophet. Thank you. Okay, but in the Protestant churches, the evangelical, they make their own interpretation of the Bible. It's no different than the Ku Klux Klan when they made their own. Many of them was Protestant ministers, Baptists, Methodists, whatever. Know your history, and they used scripture selected verses to get the white people in the South and even up north when it was a good old days to them. Okay, America was great again to get their membership. They destroyed the Bible. St. Peter said people was so scripture on the first, Second Peter chapter 2. Excuse me, Second Peter chapter 3, verse 15 and 17. Okay, and they also say that. And Peter says the person trying to handle scriptures from now. No offense to anybody, I don't believe because Luther and the rest, Zwingli and Calvin, their own interpretation, we never think that's why. Okay, and so when they did that to bring people, because they was trying to be Christian, and it's no excuse. These are naive white people. Okay, if you know your history, and I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but let's call it like it is. It's no different than the African people who was naive to go join the Jim Jones cult. Okay, because they didn't. We was taught as children from their elders never to question when the Bible tells you to test everything that was good. Was St. Paul said that's loneliness. So what happened is these folks is they didn't do what Jesus said. There's false prophets around you. He tells you that too. They listened to these people and joined. Okay? So many of those people going back to school district when the integration happened in the 60s and 70s, when they got bust, they went to, especially in the South, they went to evangelical white Protestant schools, fundamental schools where they taught the Bible and their indoctrination of white supremacy. Okay, so many of these people from the old South who come from those areas, or they went to public schools that was in those small areas, they got indoctrinated. And a lot of folks know many of them become cops because in those small towns, the cops make more money than the regular folks. Okay, anybody work for this little small town, the mayor. Okay, but when you been got the experience and you applied to go to LAPD, that's why LAPD got a lot of racism in there. Shout out to Joe Brown on Wake Up TV mentioned that. Yes, and it makes a lot of sense. They was recruiting in Los LA people recruiting in the South. A lot of those folks joined. You have people come out of high school to become a police officer, and they not only going by the procedure of the police academy, but they're taking their biases in their opinions in their notion of certain people with them. You see what I'm saying? That's why I apply. You can't change a person by apply Starbucks for having that training because unless you want to work at Starbucks, you're not gonna bring your racism there. And I agree with that. Take that back home. Okay. So point is, a lot of them live in small towns where they allowed to get away with it. It's no different than the movie uh Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You remember you couldn't go to the police department. Everybody in town was related to the Chainsaw Massacre. Do you see what I'm saying? It's no different back in the South where African people was going through. But many of these white people who grew up been told they were superior by their family, that these black, Hispanic folks, everybody else was not, told them that they would be somebody, okay, gave them that self-esteem with some hatred, and they go to school in those selected schools, those private evangelical schools that allow to twist the Bible and teaching their ignorance as well. Okay? And they think they're Christians. Why when they shoot somebody that's white, I mean African, Hispanic, whatever, They don't have no guilt. They think they're doing the right. They're doing just thing without having that guilt. So when I hear this and I study this, one thing that folks to understand, people perish of a lack of knowledge. I'm always trying to find something on the internet, reading or something. Learning about my white roots and learning I got wasps, which I already know, but white relatives in my city. Okay, knowing that some of them are rednecks is what my Asian other cousin told me. Okay, I'm studying their psychology to understand why where they at. Cause in order to fight, beat the enemy, you gotta know your enemy. Okay, so I'm talking about those who are racist, not those who are not. So the white cop should understand instead of living white privilege and not arrogantly, I understand it was wrong for the sister to come to call you a skinhead, but that's what I have done if I was a pure white man, even though I don't look like it, but it's in my bloodline. Let's be real, okay? I would say, ma'am, I do apologize for the other people in my department or other department who have made our reputation bad. But I do all I can to prove my point and hope you see that I am not like those other people. I'm my own individual. Now you see why this brother is an individualist person, and I tell people I'm not the collective. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you proving yourself to be an individual to that person, they 9 10 will open their eyes and say, you know what, this person's trustworthy. Because one thing that I know, like the size, I understand you don't want to lose your apartment and lose your family. I wish folks would understand there's good money and there's bad money. Okay? And the one thing, the love of money is the root of all evil. So is it there to the love of money to let people suffer under it? Or if you say you're Christian, 'cause I ain't perfect, don't get wrong, okay? But if you're more Christ-like than I am, I wish I can prove that because I see a lot of errors in your walk. Or either you come out and say, you know what, the heck with the money, because I want to sit to my God, heck with the money. I'm going to sit here and support. My war is in heaven because one thing about prosperity gospel is not the prosperity on this earth. It's in heaven when you know what I'm saying. That's why as a Catholic we honor the saints because they did God's work. Some of these folks left their money and don't get me wrong, it arrogantly coming from an ex-prize background. So no, I would not take the things they did, okay? But they had courage to be God's warriors, to put his will on this earth and even die in vain. Besides Jesus, they did the same thing what Jesus did. Okay, so if you are on God's line, and I always ask that question: if you're more holy than I am, why I don't see you acting like I see more Pharisee like? And yes, the man was professional, and kudos to the officer. But I was that officer. I would say, excuse me, ma'am. I do apologize for all the people who made someone like me look terrible. But I'm here to prove to you, ma'am, that I'll be a totally different person compared because I know as authority I'm not God. I'm human and I make mistakes whatever. But I apologize for any other officer who did you wrong. And I even as an African person said it to people, yes I have, because one thing about folks, that's why I'm not a collective. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And I let people know. Whatever that brother did last year, whatever, I am not him. Please see me as an individual. Okay? Just because the world don't give me, I'm gonna give my own self an individual card. And I think that'd be better because if I was in that badge, I would let that sister know I'm not one of them because I look like this, not like him. I'm not one of them cool officers. I'm here to protect and serve and also help you. And then hope that she will pay for her ticket and hope that she will not make another ticket again. Because one thing, and I will not try to tell my business at work, when I worked security recently, and I'm not gonna say where I work at, and there's a brother I call, he like Will Smith. He about my complexion, get that face a little bit like Will Smith, not exactly, but he kind of resemble Will Smith. When I met, I thought he was a cool bro. He 10 years younger than me, same age as Chris Brown. Okay, and he married, got a child, and everything. Okay. And as we got to work together, we had some drunk people. And one husband, when she was drunk, they couldn't go a certain area. And The dude, you can tell. I'm glad this brother is not a police officer, and this dude claimed to be black, even though he not. She got white in him. Okay, he got on with the one drive rule, but he said the woman was drunk and mad. She's Latino woman with blonde hair, and I told her nicely, we cannot go in this area. Can I go in this area now? This dude told you can go in that area. And so, as drunk as she is, I know it provoked. Because one thing that people understand, we why people don't like authority, because you have a narcissistic authority that provokes that person to get ugly, okay? And I ain't perfect, but the Bible says, fathers don't provoke your children. And they not only mean the truth, but in any relationship authority. That's what I'm saying. So, therefore, and I saw how unprofessional, because our boss, who's Hispanic, told us, don't act like this to the people. And this dude, I want to see somebody go to jail tonight. And when I saw that, I said, that's not right. And I'm like, brother, please, especially you as a brother. I'm a brother. You don't want a white person saying that to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, or that thing that thinks it's white that got Spain and African Native and don't want to admit that. Why would you, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so arrogant, and I could not deal with that. I thought, no, this ain't no cool brother. Because I'm not trying to use my platform to hurt people. It's a care people's safety, and I like to explain and be informational to a person. Because I understand everybody that mad, they don't got the information correct. Let's do psychology, okay? The reason why people get angry, they never got told the message until someone explained the message to them. 9 10 they'll change their behavior because they didn't understand it. It's one thing people get fear when they don't understand. So when I saw this behavior, I said, And he tried to get, and I did get mad a couple times we worked at wherever because he did me dirty. Okay. And when I confronted his behind, how he was talking, and I was doing my job right. Okay. He ain't know, so he take it to the head that he think he is. He's very arrogant. I'm a strong minded person. So when I saw this and he did me dirty a couple weeks ago, and I confronted one of our managers who allowed it to happen. Yes, I did. And he wasn't working as a manager; he was acting as one white man, older white man that thinks he know everything. Okay. When I told him this, the dude was smiling, the brother. So it was rigged, and you can tell because I've been misused before. And people say you blame your problems, you live in your past. No, you trying to refrain from going back to it. I'm not stupid. Okay. So I know it's a narcissistic trick on people who say that. You're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt again because you've been there. Because the only time a person a victim if they go back. For example, like Amy Bustamante with Fabulous. The stupidest thing, okay, he knocked your teeth out. You went back. Now you playing victim and screaming because you're going to go back into the same thing. No, you get away from the situation. So when I want to understand that a lot of officers I know talking police have an arrogance. It don't happen to me. It will. It's a saying that it happened to the Catholics. I'm not Catholic. It happened to the Jews under the Jews and they came for me. And that does happen to a lot of people. Okay? And a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, you can't sit here and it's happened like these police issues. It happened to white people. And they're waking up. One particular one with my name, God rest his soul. His parents said, "What white man that name Zach?" He said they never thought that would happen to them because they're white. No, evil. Yes, it's targeted towards the color, who African descent, Hispanic, whatever, minority, whatever. But it's happened to white folks who are gullible. Then they're not gonna happen to them. I don't. I don't think it happened to John Hernandez here in Houston. But it was a wake up call to some Hispanics who forgot their history. You think? Why do you think I did that video about Jose Torres, Joe Torres? They forget back in 20, 40 years ago, or should I say 41 years ago, that man Latino was killed in Houston. Comments said, don't do nothing about African American person shooting. I said, baby, they can do you do nothing too. I know he say nada. But now, when this situation happens, when John Hernandez people's crying because their arrogance got to them. that's native and black in you. Thank you. Let's be real, okay? So going back to the situation, Miss Stephanie, yes, she was arrogant, whatever. I understand, but I kind of sympathize with her because what she was acting like that for, and I didn't like the conversation. She acted like a Becky. You want her to act like some kind of Aunt your mama? I'm getting tired of y'all like stereotypes. You get mad at Wild Vicky, even though she is mixed black, but don't look at act stereotypical. And Lil Tay, the Asian one, they're picking up ideas from people who call it black attitudes from other people, African Americans who call themselves black. Let's call it like it is, okay? It was all individualistic as a people. We didn't have a way to stereotype us. That's why I thank you. So Stephanie, Lawson Muhammad, yes, she called him skinhead and it was wrong. But that white man should say, excuse me, I'm not skinhead. I understand you're coming from because people in the FBI had mentioned many folks, many Klan people are joining the police department. The item killing minorities is legit, and I never forget this. And I go ahead and reveal this secret. On a news group, I'm not gonna say what it was. I saw a white man say this before the police department was regular. They says, if you want to kill a nigga, start something with that dude. They didn't say that. We said nigga. Let him get aggressive and then shoot him. So when the police officers come, they say, "I thank you." I saw it on the internet back 2003. Ah, yes, I did, baby. Yes, I did. And when I saw that, I said, "Oh, that's the real reason why that." Uh huh. And I bet George Zimmer, who got Spanish and black and native on his mama's side, and white, you're Anglo-Saxon on his dad's side, um, thought that too. Because Trayvon was not bothering him. He ain't bother Trayvon with no business. So that's the whole reason why. And then one thing that a lot of folks don't understand that if this Coca Black group that's going to get her, trying to get out of her. I'm sorry, baby. I'm not with y'all side. Y'all got some butt dancing, cooning, distortion of scripture from slave master, your wife's ancestor that you don't want to claim, but you want to portray in black face, or should I say with some melanated face, dark or lighter skin, whatever you came out looking like a card like it is, and it's getting to be a problem. Yes, we should respect authority, but authority should respect us, especially by it being human. Jesus did not want his flock to act like the king of Gentiles and benefactors, for they were law over being ugly and acting like Pharisees. Why we have people they claim to be Christian and think they're doing right and being in authority position, but acting like a bunch of Pharisees. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, you sitting here defending abuse of power because we was taught that by slavery, and you're right. She should respect it, but we need one thing. The police department need to have a committee with the African descended people and Hispanic and everybody else, because it's getting to be a problem that if you don't want that stereotype. What that about me? I like to debunk stereotypes. That's why I said I'm an individualistic person. You can't make a stereotype about me because I'm gonna debunk it for you, especially by my own actions. Okay, and so I'm a very unique person, very proud of it. I will prove myself because in the scripture, and I ain't perfect, but I don't understand how people feel. I ain't gotta prove anything. Yes, you have. You have fake people who pretend to be true authority. If you know what I mean. But these very true authority in paper, but not in the action. And they sold to hurt another person. And it's going on. This epidemic needs to stop. And if you're a good police officer, you need to come out your wooing and high hearts to prove to the world that you're not like that. And it will debunk that stereotype what she did to you. I don't mind proving people wrong, baby. A lie, you suffer a lie. You suffer some slander, you're gonna suffer, correct it. Speaking of Michael Jackson, he allowed people to run him over like a doorman with that sex. He had in that last straw was 2003. He had to stop doing that. Stop playing like Peter Pan to the kids. Take your own kids. Stop trying to be a child in the body. And then two, he had to stop letting folks run over him because people can make lies about you. It will hurt your reputation. So that's why. So if the cops don't want their reputation to be tarnished, me and them need to come out there whooping and start proving themselves to be trustworthy. Because that's sad. You have a bunch of arrogant people who claim to be doing God's work, but they're not. They don't harm themselves. And that's what they say about the brother that was acting a fool that wants to go to jail tonight. I am not gonna put someone in no, you know, you didn't secure not to wish someone go to jail. Cause the same thing when he takes a uniform off, they're gonna wish his ass, I'm sorry, God forgive me, cussing, his black identified ass who camera skin like me to be thank you. And you gonna scream and say black life. I'm gonna remember that. Oh, I can't say I'm treat you like them sister step on Clark. Why should I care about your life? You know, and arrogant. You know that uniform we're wearing is not to be arrogant. It's to treat people with respect and try to secure people. I wish people stop thinking that their title makes them God. It doesn't. They harm themselves with that title. A bad person in a position of power ruin things. Somewhere in Proverbs. So why portray the devil and act trying to justify as godly when you know you're causing scandal? And so that's why. So I'm sorry. I'm not trying to show favoritism because I sympathize with this woman. This situation started the trustworthy, untrustworthy of police because of all those killing and murders. It's not the liberal TV. It is what it is. You got cops that even admit their racism on social media. I don't want that my taxpayer dollars to get that man fired. Not the one who's in the video, but you know what I'm saying? Why are we not protesting against that? You know what I'm saying? She called the man skinhead and she should apologize. But Roseanne, guess what? They saying about Roseanne and didn't put her show back on there. So what they, you know what I'm saying? So you can forgive her here. You can forgive this sister here too. And I think that if the police are wrong, she should apologize for what she said. But that officer should say, "Excuse me, I'm not like those bastards. Please stop thinking that I am." You know, and trust me, letting to white folks, we share white guilt too. Talking about post accuracy. That's why some of them don't want to admit they got white heritage and they very true. But in my situation, and many of those who don't know, there were white women who married someone who was past white. That's happened in my family tree. Not all mixed in Louisiana. Me and the French, me and Spain man did because it was owned by, controlled by the Catholic Church, not the Protestant church. They were allowed to marry the black women, a lot of women down there. Okay, it wasn't always rape. They did have, but it wasn't always. That was in mostly because those white Protestants, meaning them in the South who played plantation blood that racism was wrong, and they saw the slaves as property. They said that's why they're trying to say three-fifths of man, one drop rule, I mean you're not human as a black person. That you get treated less than human. And a lot of our people have bought into that ideology that we it's typical and normal to be treated like less than human, and that's why even in rap music, okay, but we wind up coming together. Okay, what about coming together when you do the same thing with the white race man that's related to us? You don't want to claim so much, do you see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why, you know. How can you? How can you? How can you get mad about that? You're doing exactly what they say and do. So that's all I gotta say to a sister. My heart goes out. You, you the officer. My heart goes out to you too. Thank you for being professional with the system. Cause normally some traffic stops are not like that. I met some mean cops that I wish they could get out the payroll of the taxpayer dollars. Okay, but to y'all, you need to start press truly be trustworthy. I'm sorry. Stop with this arrogance that people trust me already because I have a badge. You know what I'm saying? And start snitching on those within your department because those bad folks, those bad apples in your department are making you all look terrible. You don't understand that. That's why it's hard when we see a police officer. It's scary. Okay, it's scary because you don't know what his or her intention is. Especially though, even if they are a color, they're African Hispanic, it don't matter. 'Cause I met those who worse too. And you're not trying to do it wrong, but you're the part of arrest quotas so they can get a check. Just make up something, lie, plant weed, put drugs on. That's the problem that I have with that. And I'm sorry if I saw that. I might tell the news, the channel news about that. Shoot. I'm sorry. It's not about the art sneak this for fun. It's to stop people from abusing authority because nobody abuses authority towards you. Okay, that's what I gotta say. But all that what your mama did and daddy did told y'all that you need to start discerning your parenting and how you was raised. You know, the Bible, I ain't preach, but not perfect, but the Bible said in Matthew 10, those who love their father, brother, sister, or is born to be in no disciple mind. Take a couple, what I'm saying? So therefore, I love you. I'm saying, more than Jesus. I ain't perfect. That's why. Yeah, we got to hope about having this time.